My name is Zarkan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of BioTryp Therapeutics. BioTryp is a spin-off from the University of Cambridge. We are still based in Cambridge, and the science was based on the research that we have done at the university. What we are developing at BioTryp is an orally administered therapy for patients with bacterial infections, but we are going after patients with urinary tract infections as the first indication. So I think I joined ICURe as part of a team. I was the early career researcher at that time. So we had obviously the senior researcher who was the head of the group. We had a technology transfer officer from Cambridge Enterprise, and we had an advisor. That was, I believe, a couple of years ago. And at that stage, there was no company yet. There was a huge amount of science, over 8 years of science, and we thought we had something interesting. We were not quite sure whether it's suitable to go into the spin-off route or whether it might be actually more suitable just to look for partners to actually license it out. Or maybe we're not even sure about the commercial potential of it. So we thought ICURe might actually give us the ideal platform to explore whether there is a commercial potential, and if there is one, figure out what is the most suitable route to take it further to the market. So we joined first ICURe Explore, I believe. At that time, I think it wasn't even called Explore and Exploit yet. That was before it was actually designated, but it was an equivalent to what is currently known as Explore. And during that time, I believe my time was bought out from the university, essentially, and I was sent out attending conferences, speaking to potential partners, speaking to potential stakeholders. So I spent around 3 months just traveling around, going to different shows, going to different conferences, trying to figure out whether what we have is actually of interest to stakeholders, whether it is of interest to other companies who might become partners, and whether it's also in interest for potential customers in the future. So that's what we've done during ICURe Explore. There was a huge amount of support in terms of going through that process, figuring out what to ask and who do you approach and how do you approach them, and eventually all the way until we got to the options roundabout, where we actually pitched what we gathered in terms of information. Now, after that, obviously our idea at that time was approved as a spin-off. So we went on and we went to ICURe Exploit, where I think during Exploit, we actually got some support to incorporate the company and start looking for investment and start actually looking for grant funding as well. Obviously, it gave us the first platform to start the company. But even before that, it gave us the opportunity to make sure that there is a market and there is a need. So that was extremely important. But I do have to highlight another element. At the time when I joined ICURe, most people in my team were pretty much academics. We didn't really know much about the business world. And I think the ICURe experience kind of gave us that skill where we started understanding things slightly differently, pitching things slightly differently, thinking about the commercial side, not only the science side, which what we had before we joined ICURe. So just to summarize that, I think helping us move away from the science and into the business world, helping us develop the idea and validate that there is a market and there is a clinical need, and also helping us incorporate the company and kickstart essentially the process. Specifically important for us because obviously what we are developing, and that's what I didn't explain at the beginning, it's an oral therapy, but it is an anti-biofilm oral therapy. We were thinking that we will get the ICURe mentorship because we'll get all of those business kind of mentors. But we also thought that we will have the support from the National Biofilms Innovation Center. So we will get also introduced to a lot of potential partners and a lot of potential stakeholders that are mainly interested in biofilm innovation. So for us, it worked perfectly. It was a perfect match. We had a biofilm associated invention, and there was a biofilm ICURe program. It could have not been any better, to be frank. Well, I'm already doing that. I think there's few people that I recommended ICURE to them in the past, and they already went on and they joined the latest cohort of biofilms ICURE. So yeah, I continue to recommend ICURE, especially when it comes to kind of the combination between ICURE and National Biofilm Innovation Centers, especially for people in my small network. But to be more frank, I recommend ICURE now more generally to any other researcher that I meet, and I feel their science is interesting commercially. I tell them, well, if you want to validate it, maybe this program is the ideal program to go on. I would say during ICURE Explore, it was great because I did not have other responsibilities. So I think I managed to pause everything that I had at the university at that time and focus full time on ICURE. And I think if that was not the case, it would have been very, very difficult to get on with the ICURE Explore. So I think the element there that I did not have to deal with anything to do with the university during the Explore phase was very important. Obviously, later during Exploit, it became a bit more difficult because we started kind of, the company was there, we are starting the process, and I was only partially working on the company, still a bit more involved on the research side. It wasn't easy, but it's a skill that you learn as you essentially go through it. So I think it helped me also develop the ability to balance multiple things at the same time.